Hey y'all, it's Bunny, and I haven't made a video in a while, so I'm making one. It was requested that I make one by who I think is my one viewer, and so I wanted to make this video. The reason I haven't made one in a while is because I think you could tell in the last few videos I was suffering from depression, and it was getting worse, and I've been thinking about going into crisis stabilization, and I call them and I get it all set up, and then I back out at the last minute, and then I call and I get it set up, and now it's to the point that I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because I don't go. I'm embarrassed because I guess I'm embarrassed because they're going to think I'm crazy, and I'm calling them because I'm crazy, so I guess it wouldn't be a new thing. And since I'm going there, it's with a bunch of other crazy people. And if you've never been in an inpatient program, you just don't know what it's like. A long time ago, my very first inpatient stay was at Peninsula. And in those days, when you went, you had to stay in for 2 weeks. It was a 2-week thing. And it was not that it wasn't nice. Peninsula was very nice. The campus was nice. I didn't get to go outside without being supervised. We were locked inside. We didn't get to use metal eating utensils. We didn't get glass glasses. We didn't get real plates. We had to eat with plastic silverware and throwaway plates and throwaway cups. And you don't get to watch TV when you want to watch TV. You have like a day room, and you only get to watch TV in the evenings because during the day you have to do these classes, and the classes are basically to teach you skills, life skills and things. And I remember, God, that was such a long time ago. There was a arts class, and they gave us these strips of leather, and we were supposed to make keychains with these strips of leather. And we had the strips of leather, and then we had like this little stick that had a metal on the end, and you would tap it, and it would put like a letter or a design or whatever in the leather. And so I got my initials, and the first time that I hit it, the corner of the initial thing went into the leather. And so not only did my initials show up, but then this little corner. And I raised my hand, and the guy who was teaching the class came over, and he said, what's the problem? And I said, I'm going to have another one. I've ruined this one, see? And I showed him what I had done. And he said to me, it's not ruined at all. And I said, yes, it is. Don't you see this flaw in it? And he said to me, it has a flaw in it. It may not be exactly perfect. It may not be exactly the way you imagine that it should be. But it will function 100%. I guarantee. And he said, I'm wondering if this is a theme that runs through your life. And yes, yes, Mr. Genius, bling, 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 you win the prize. That is a theme that runs through my life. I have always believed that if something isn't perfect, if it's less than perfect, if it's damaged, if it's messed up, it's lost its value. And that's a very dangerous concept to have. A very, very dangerous concept to have, because people are not perfect. People are damaged. People are flawed. And the thing is that I know my flaws. I know the damages I've sustained. I know the scars I have. And even the ones that aren't visible to other people. I know they're there. And it made me always feel like I lost my value. Somehow part of my value was missing because of the damage that had been done. And I really need to think more about that keychain than I do. He made me keep that keychain, and for many years I carried that keychain around as a reminder that things don't always have to be perfect to be very valuable. And I think that's an important thing to remember. And that was in my first stay in the mental hospital. And we actually got to go on an outing. We went out, they took us out in public, which is crazy. I don't remember what the outing was, but I do remember that we got to stop at a restaurant. They went in with a bus full of people from the crazy house to a restaurant, which is very brave now looking back on it. Very, very brave. But they did it. Apparently now it's not a common practice. And if you've ever seen the movie Dream Team, you might know why. And if you have not seen the movie Dream Team, you need to see the movie Dream Team because it is hilarious. It's an old movie, and it has Michael Keaton in it. Michael Keaton's in that movie. It's a very good movie, The Dream Team. If you have not seen it, watch that one day when you're feeling depressed because it will make you feel so much better about life, about yourself, about everything. Okay, so let's see, where did I want to go with this? I was going to talk about hospital stays, but then I got off on the tangent about the class, the art class with the keychain, and there was something else that happened that was similar to the keychain, and now I've already forgotten it because I forget everything. But when you're in the hospital, that was a 2-week stay. And the first several times I stayed in the hospital was always 2-week stays. Then it got to where, the last few times I've stayed, it's only been several days, 3 to 5 days. And then if you go to the crisis stabilization unit, it's only a 3-day stay. The reason that they used to make you stay 2 weeks was because they would start you on medicine, and it takes a lot of the antipsychotics and psychiatric meds about 2 weeks to start really working before you can tell a difference. But I don't know what the deal is with the 3 days, because I don't know in 3 days if you can actually even tell a difference when you start something new like that. I mean, very few of the medicines could you tell a difference in 3 days. But they teach you coping skills, life skills, and some of the arts classes are really good to help you put your problems in perspective. I've learned a lot of really good things from some of the classes that I've taken when I was at my worst point. I've made a few good friends when we were both at our lowest points. The really crazy thing is that one time I met a girl, and we had a great time in the hospital together, became friends. And then like a year and a half later, I'm in the hospital again. Yes, I go more frequently than I would ever want to admit. And while I'm there, I look over and guess who's there? My friend. Oh yeah, we shouldn't meet like that, but yeah, it happens. And then we got out, and she hasn't had to go back since. I unfortunately have had to go back a couple more times because I haven't been able to completely defeat my depression. But anyway, there you have it. So this is my video for today, and I'll try to make another one, and I'll try to remember what it was I was going to say about after the keychain thing. And I've got more to say about hospital stays too. Well, I guess I got time. Let's keep talking about the hospital stays. Okay, so that first time was terrifying. You don't get a private room. You have to stay with other people. Well, that's not something that I do very often. I mean, I did it in camp as a Girl Scout, stayed in a tent with other people, but it's just not something I do very often. And the thing is that when you stay with these are people you don't know, and they're other unwell people. Sometimes they're coming off of alcohol detoxing. Sometimes they're coming off of drugs detoxing. Just all kinds of different things. You just never know. And then they come in there, and in a little bit they get you out, and you have to attend a class. And it's not always the arts class. Sometimes it's other classes, and they expect you to participate, and it's good if you participate. It's just that usually you don't feel like participating. You feel like crap. You feel like you want to be in bed. You feel like you want to die. But one of my very favorite psychiatrists told me, nobody ever gets better just laying in bed. And I'm thinking, are you sure? Because I'm willing to give it a try and see. But the truth is, I have given it a try and see, because that's usually my first go-to when I get really depressed, is just stay in bed. Just stay in bed. But what I found is sort of like alcoholics drink. I think if I sleep, I don't have to think about this. If I sleep, I don't have to think about this. But when I wake up, all the stuff is still there waiting on me. And it's like, oh shit, here it is again. Really? Damn it. And it didn't help that much. And I'm sure that's what happens with an alcoholic once they sober up. All that shit is still there. And the people with drugs, they say that alcoholics and people with drugs and people with depression, any of us who do any of these things, any of these addictive things, we do it because we want to change the way we feel. We're doing it to change the way we feel. And I know that when I used to sleep, it's because I wanted to change the way I felt. I can't sleep like that anymore. Lately, I've tried. I'm sleeping a little bit more than I used to, but I just can't stay in bed like I used to. And I used to could stay in there 3 days, no problem. And now, if I can stay in there 3 extra hours, I've done good. But it's usually restless sleep, and I have bad dreams, and it's just a pain. So, anyway, you're in there with a lot of different people, and they're all dealing with their own special kind of issues, and it's not good, or they wouldn't be at the hospital level. If they were able to deal with their issues and pull it off like people just faking it, they'd be out in the real world. But no, you're in the hospital with these people, and sometimes they rip the phones off the wall, and sometimes they take a plastic pen and dig it into their skin, and sometimes they go running full throttle as hard as they can down the hall and slam into the door thinking they're going to get out. And oh geez, you just wouldn't believe the people that you would see there, because they're all in a lot of pain, they're all suffering, they're all struggling, and they're all grouped together. It's just not a fun place to be. It's really not. But you go, and you try to do your best to learn what you can and get the hell out, because that's all you want when you're in there, is to get the hell out. And the only way to get out is to get better. And it helps to be there, away from your stressors. You can think a little clearer. You don't have pressure from other people out and other things outside. So that's good too. But I can talk more about this. I'll make a part 2 of the the stories of mental hospitals, and I'll talk to you another day. And I hope you're watching this, my one viewer that requested this. I love you a bunch. Bye.